everyone, Tim here. If you are struggling to figure out what that optimal loadout, optimal weapon combo, or what weapons you should be using, don't fret, I got you covered. Today we're looking at the best weapon combos you can rock right now. I also decided to take this one step further, and I figured since the ALGS is starting back up, let's recommend some combos that those pro players are using so you can implement them into your game to either pub smash your way to a 20 bomb or RP grind yourself out of diamond or bronze. The first combo is a combo that I see many pro teams running, and it's going to be the G7 with the car SMG. The G7, honestly, is probably the premier long-range poking weapon. You can apply a lot of pressure in the mid to longer ranges. It can also be pretty good in the close range if you are in a bind. The double tap on the G7 makes this thing an absolute animal if you are getting a double headshot in there. And the double tap also reduces the overall recoil that the gun has when you are firing it rapidly, which is also pretty nice. The thing that does make the G7 even more special is that you can farm very high damage games, which in a pro or a competitive environment is good that you can farm your Evo shields for the entire squad. The only thing the G7 really needs on it, in my opinion, is going to be an optic. You don't really need any attachments. The 10 base round mag is pretty good. If you get a level 1 mag with the gray, it's also a 15 round gun, which is kind of weird that you get 5 extra bullets or 50% boost with only having a level 1 mag. Not many guns in the game can do this. The car SMG is also great as a backup weapon. It has the fastest TTK in the game, which means you know your secondary weapon is going to be ready to roll for those close range fights. This for me is really my premier ranked loadout or competitive tournament loadout. It's really easy to use. There's nothing too complex with this loadout. And if you have a good shot with the G7 and you really learn how to pretty much just double tap someone in the head, you're going to obliterate your opponents. The second weapon combo to highlight is going to be the R301 backed up with the car SMG. This is a combo that you're going to see many pro players run all the time, especially controller players. This is the easy Apex loadout that pretty much any beginner player or even pro player can pretty much excel with. The R301 is brainlessly easy to use. You don't really need that many attachments. And it's also one of the best assault rifles when it comes to traditional assault rifles in terms of the time to kill. We already spoke on the car SMG, but an added benefit of having the car with the 301 is that you can run heavy ammo or you can do the double light if you do have a lot of extra light ammo lying around. This is good in general just so you can separate ammo types from your teammates. This weapon combo is just not as good when it comes to conserving your overall ammo usage as the previous G7 combo, so you do need to keep this in mind. You can of course sub out the car SMG for something like an Eva or a Peacekeeper if you want to carry a little bit less ammo in this ammo hungry combo. The Mastiff of course is fine as well, but I do think the Mastiff is the worst of those 3 shotguns. While this combo of course is going to be used in a pro environment, you can also use this in pubs or ranked. Really, this combo works everywhere in the game. Our next combo is a combo that is a little bit harder to use, and I think it's a combo for more experienced players who are looking to really breach their skill gap. This is going to be the flatline backed up with the EVA 8. It's a little bit harder hitting, which matters quite a bit, and I do think it's a little bit better than the previous R301 and car combo. The main reason being is that the flatline just hits more per bullet and also has a little bit bigger magazine, which means you're going to be able to dish out more damage overall when you are in a fight without reloading, of course. Also, by running a flatline, you can split off from your teammates if they are running the R301, since a lot of players are running that. And having the backup of the EVA 8 is really just wild. If you are hitting near full hits, you can do almost 450 damage in just over 2 seconds, which is crazy when you are going into a battle. And because of this, I really do think that this combo is kind of the premier team fighting combo, where if you are going in 3 and 3, like you're breaching a building, having the flat line backed up with the EVA really just means you're going to have a larger total damage output without having to reload. And I think this overall is going to be a little bit more beneficial if you're an aggressive squad. I do think that this combo is going to require a little bit more skill, but it has a little bit more upside than the previous 301 and car combo. And I do think that if you can excel with the flatline and EVA backup, you're going to do very nicely when it comes to team fighting. Next up is something that you're not going to see being used too often, as it kind of has been phasing out of Apex Legends, but it's still worth using if you are a very good player. And this is going to be the wingman backed up with either the R99 or the car SMG. Again, you don't see this too often as it really requires a very specific type of playstyle and a very accurate shooter. A big pro of this combo is that since you are using a wingman, you're not competing for ammo with your squad. And again, you have the added flexibility of splitting off from your squad who may be running either a Volt or an R301 or a flatline. The main reason people do use this weapon is because if you are capable of getting a headshot body or even a double headshot in there with the wingman, you're obliterating your opponents before they even realize they did get hit. And a lot of pro players do have the ability to extend the wingman's range. Even though it's a pistol, they can shoot it at more of like a mid-range type of weapon, which means you have a close range pistol for close range fighting. Then you also have the same pistol for more mid-range poking. It does require a lot of skill to implement it this way, but if you are able of getting there, it's definitely going to be worthwhile. And the greatest nice thing for this combo is that it's really all about building your skill up, and it's going to force you to be accurate with your tap firing with the wingman and spraying with that backup R99 or car SMG. And I do say that you can use either R9 or car. You can use the R99 if you're looking for more of a classic Apex Legends experience, but if you want the best of the two, I would take the car SMG. I highly recommend you try using this gun. It's definitely something that you can use both in pubs and ranked, but it can be pretty detrimental to your game if you are missing a lot of shots, so get a lot of practice in there with this combo. The next combo is something that many players are not using as much in recent days because it is being overshadowed by stuff like the R301 with the car SMG, and this is the Volt SMG backed up with either the Peacekeeper or the EVA 8. This combo kind of just works. It's worked for a long time. Ever since the Volt came out in Season 6, it's pretty much been on the top of the meta. This again is very good to split off your ammo from your teammates. You don't need, say, light or heavy, as many players are running the car and the R301, so you don't need to use either of those ammo types, which can be good. A pro or a good player can extend the range with the Volt quite a bit by throwing a 2x optic on there, which is fairly good because it does give it a hybrid playstyle on the closer side of mid-range to obviously the very close range. This means you have the TTK of an SMG with the range of an assault rifle, and it can be pretty competitive at times. The Volt also has the added benefit that it's really easy to use off the drop, and you really don't need any attachments, and has good iron sights comparably to the car SMG, which I think has pretty poor iron sights. If you are worried about the nerf that the Volt did get this season, I would not worry about that at all. I find that it doesn't really change the way the Volt functions that much. If anything, you just cannot long range beam players as much with the Volt, and when I say long range, I mean like outside of 50 to 60 meters, which again is really just not the function of this weapon, and you would be much better off with something like a G7. I have a few more combos I want to go over, but a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is going to be Glitch Energy. If you are looking for a delicious drink while also getting a little boost in energy, you guys gotta grab some Glitch. My favorite flavor as of late is Dragon Sweat, but if you are looking to try out some other flavors and get a shaker, grab the starter kit. You can use code TimProVision for 15% off all your orders, and big thanks to both you and them for the support. I have a few more pro combos that I do want to recommend for you. These are definitely going to be more alternate combos. There are some pro players that do use these, but definitely not as many players, which I think means it is good to highlight them for you. The only pro player I see using this first combo of the triple take backed up with the Havoc is going to really be Nick Merckx, as the G7 is just the straight up better weapon when you are comparing it to the triple take, but the triple take definitely has some really compelling use case scenarios that I do want to highlight. For one, it is brainlessly easy to get partial hits in there. Even hitting one of the 3 energy spread means someone has the shield cell up to replenish the damage that they took. The triple take also has some close range shotgun-esque type viability where it does similar damage per hit when you look at the EVE 8, and the upside of this is that it has huge headshot damage. It's definitely hard to be effective with it in this way, but if you can practice using the triple take in a close range environment and you're getting headshots in there, you can do absolutely very well with it. I in particular want to mention the backup of the Havoc assault rifle because it does do very well when you have a turbo on it, and I do recommend this over the Volt because of its larger magazine size, as the level 3 mag is going to help you when you are in a multi-enemy fight. Not to mention, the Havoc is one of the fastest TTK weapons in the game, and it's always good to have, but having 36 rounds with the Havoc when you are going in means you can be just a little bit more flexible in your offensive fighting power, since you don't necessarily have as good of a swap to weapon with the triple take. This combo is definitely not the best combo out there, but sometimes using a combo that enemies are not used to is an added benefit of its own, and I definitely would not sleep on the newly buffed triple take. It's pretty good and very reliable at range now. My next combo, I'll admit, is not really a pro combo, but it's something that I do want to mention as I don't really see anyone running it right now, and it's going to be the Hemlock backed up with the Mastiff. The Hemlock works really well with the 3x on it, as it can be tap fired across the map, and of course bursted at the more mid-range to just obliterate your enemies who really are not paying attention. It does lack in the time to kill aspect though when you are on the closer side of mid-range, so you are going to struggle in closer ranges, but of course you can hip fire burst someone down if you are in a really bad spot. This is where I do recommend the Mastiff to go with the Hemlock. Having the Hemlock backed up with the Mastiff really means you can have a more steady stream of damage, and the main reason for this is that the Mastiff can reload a single shell at a time, meaning you don't necessarily need to do a full reload to continue to do your damage output. You can put one shell in, fire off a round, and you're able to do a little bit more steady stream of damage, which can be pretty good. This is definitely not a combo if you are looking to go really crazy by pushing everyone, but this combo is very good at farming damage, getting higher damage games, farming up your squad's Evo shields, and overall just having a very consistent Apex experience, even though it may not be the best. The next combo is a combo that I almost don't like to recommend because I honestly hate getting hit by this thing, but it's definitely a competitive only or ranked only combo, and this is going to be the charge rifle backed up with the Mastiff or the Eva or even the Car SMG. I say this is really a specific tournament loadout because honestly, the charge rifle uses a ton of ammo, and it's really there just to farm off enemy players and get your Evo shields up for the entire team. You are going to need a ton of ammo when you use this combo, so you are absolutely going to need to find a blue or even a purple or gold bag early on in the game. If you don't find these bags, I just would not take this combo, but you are so good at applying pressure, you don't even need to get full hits in there to still be annoying and just slow enemies down. Much like the triple take, you get a little 12 hit in there, enemies kind of had the shield cell up to be healthy. It's frustrating for them to deal with as well, which is definitely an added benefit. You're really kind of like straining their mental when you are using this gun. I do recommend that you run a shotgun with this weapon because you don't need as much ammo as a secondary, say as like the car would, and this will require a very specific play style where you are being either very pushy or being a little bit more reserved. I kind of prefer to run this weapon with the Car SMG, but you're gonna need a bigger bag, or you are just gonna have to take less sniper ammo, which I think is a problem. For me, when I do run this loadout, I absolutely try to have a Loba on my squad, or I do run Loba, just so I don't have any ammo issues. Overall though, I would not sleep on this combo just for its pure ability to farm damage and really just slow enemies down. If you can't slow enemies down in ranked, you're just gonna get higher placement because they are not as likely to be able to get to you, which means higher placement. Which combos are you using right now? Drop your favorites in the comments below. Check out this 35 tip video to accelerate your skills. And be sure to like the video, subscribe for more, and as always, I will see you in the next one.